Hello, citizens of Gotham. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante now with more BTC. A great way to support our show right there. You can donate a little Bitcoin. There's also ways to support our show right there. Patreon.com/Graham Elwood and Rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. We're talking more Bitcoin from a political standpoint. One of my things that I've always loved doing on the show is when someone in a position of power, big CEO or a politician, says something, and then they go against it. They just completely contradict themselves. So this is from literally January. This is from January, okay? This is on the CNBC website, right? This is January 17th of this year. Jamie Dimon says he's done talking about Bitcoin. I don't care. Here's the video, right? And then, well, we'll just go right into the quote. He says, and then there's one thing which does nothing. Jamie Dimon said of Bitcoin, though he added that there were real use cases for the virtual coin, which included upward of $100 billion a year caught up in fraud, tax avoidance, and sex trafficking. I defend your right to do Bitcoin, Dimon added, saying, I don't want to tell you what to do, so my personal advice would be don't get involved, but it's a free country. That was January 17th. We're May 13th, so just about 5 months ago. 5 months ago, and Jamie Dimon has been very public, Bitcoin's bad, and he says it's got real use cases, so he's saying, caught up in fraud, tax avoidance, and sex trafficking. So he's saying Bitcoin is only used for criminal stuff. He's using that ridiculous argument. Well, what just happened recently? Oh, look at what? Wait a minute. What's this now? Here's something weird. JP Morgan and Wells Fargo buy over 880,000 in Bitcoin ETFs as Bitcoin drops below 60,000. Well, look at that. Mr. Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan and Wells Fargo, two of the largest banks in the United States, have disclosed their investments in spot Bitcoin ETFs. This marking their entry into direct exposure to the world's largest cryptocurrency. The move comes during a prolonged downturn in the cryptocurrency market, which has seen the price of Bitcoin hover slightly above 60,000. American financial giants, Wells Fargo and JP Morgan, move into Bitcoin investments in a significant shift from their traditionally cautious stance on cryptocurrencies. According to new filing, the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, Wells Fargo holds 2,245 shares of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust worth $121,000. And then Wells Fargo has 39 shares of Pro Shares, which is worth $1,100 apiece. And JP Morgan, one of the largest asset managers globally, around $2.9 trillion under management, purchased around $760,000 worth of shares across several funds. They include BlackRock, Fidelity, Grayscale, Bitwise, and Pro Shares. Additionally, JP Morgan has invested about 25,000 shares valued at $47,000 in Bitcoin Depot, a provider of cryptocurrency ATMs. This move was announced shortly after a similar disclosure by Wells Fargo. The institutional interest in cryptocurrencies, particularly Bitcoin, comes despite ongoing regulatory uncertainty and market volatility. Eric Balkunas, senior analyst at Bloomberg, suggests that the actions of JP and Wells Fargo may lead other financial services companies to reveal their roles as market makers or authorized participants in spot ETFs. So let's go. This is from December of 2023. This is what Jamie Dimon said in December, right? This quote from Jamie Dimon from December. If I was the government, I'd close it down. That's what he said. So he said, shut it down in December. He said, don't buy it in January. And then we've got this. And this is it's crazy. Well, there's several reasons for this. First and foremost, it's a thing that Max Kaiser said on this show 3 years ago, which is you can't change Bitcoin, Bitcoin changes you, right? Then there's the other thing. All these institutions, all of these big institutional people have quotes from 2016, 2017 saying, oh, Bitcoin's a scam, it's ridiculous, and blah, blah, blah. And then they end up buying it. Their companies end up buying it. So is Jamie Dimon just like an idiot who doesn't get it? Could be. But what if this? I propose this theory to you. He deliberately starts bad-mouthing it to drop the price to get it. We just have, we hit an all-time high of 73,000 something, 73,700, I believe, before the halving. So then there was a lot of people thinking, well, as soon as the halving hits, the price is going to go up to 75, 80, 90, 100,000 pretty quickly. After the halving, there's been this pullback, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Jamie Dimon knows that Bitcoin is going to go through the moon. It's going to go to 100, 150 by the end of the year or next year. He's read the same fundamentals probably more thoroughly than I or any other Bitcoiner has because he's a financial guy. Maybe not, I don't know, but somebody at his office, someone there is studying this. Someone there is going, every time there's been a halving, the last halving, Bitcoin did an 8x. The halving before that, it did a 10x. The halving before that, it did a 20x. So even if it does half of what it did the last time, which is a 4x, that means that we're at 60 some thousand. It was about 64, 65,000 right at the day of the halving. We live streamed that halving. A 4x puts it at about $240,000, $250,000 in a year. That's why he bought this, because he's like, the price is going to go up. And because of the spot ETFs, a lot of people are buying the ETFs. Now, the ETF buyers or owners are not like Bitcoiners. I'm a Bitcoin maxi now. I'm a hodler. I'm buying Bitcoin and holding on to it. So the spot ETF people are like going to be like day traders. They're going to buy it at 65 and sell it at 70. And when the price drops, they're going to panic and sell it and just be dummies. So it's going to affect short-term volatility, but in the long run, it is going to bring a lot of money in there. But if Wells Fargo and JP Morgan are buying this, other companies are going to get into it too. Because one thing that's certain on Wall Street, nobody wants to be the one who like this thing goes through the roof and they're like, why didn't we buy any of that? Because all of their customers are like, hey, Bitcoin's going up. Why don't I own any of this? So, and JP Morgan has $2.9 trillion in assets under management. So this is the thing I've been talking about a lot on this show. There's around $400 trillion in total assets on planet Earth, right? You add up everybody's investment account, 401k, bank account, gold, whatever, stocks, pension, you add all that up, real estate, jewelry, anything, rare art or, baseball cards or anything like that. You add all of those things up. It's $400 trillion. Currently, Bitcoin has about $1.3 trillion of market share, right? So right now, JP Morgan only has, $800,000 in Bitcoin. But what if they just do 10% of their assets under management? $2.9 trillion, 10% of that is $290 billion. Right? If their clientele just says, I want 10% exposure or even 5% exposure, you're still talking about $145 billion. And so when clients say, I want exposure to Bitcoin, JP Morgan will do it and Jamie Dimon will okay it, which will drive the price up. Another reason the price will go up. So I love calling out the hypocrites on this show. Isn't it fantastic? Graham, Jamie Dimon's story reinforces a good statement to go by. People lie easily with their words, but can't lie with their actions. Ooh, great. Thank you so much. HG Spider-Man 56. Shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you for supporting our show. You make a great point. Yeah. What do I tell you? What if you're new to the show? This is the thing I've said from the jump. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. The money tells the truth. People, like you say in your thing here, people can say whatever, where they put their money, where they get their money, where they spend their money, that'll tell you everything. And that always tells you everything in politics. Politicians and political parties can tell you we're this, we're pro that, or against this. But like any politician, be they Republican or Democrat, that's in favor of Israel bombing Gaza and killing children, I guarantee you they get money from AIPAC. So they don't have an honest appraisal of what Israel is doing. They're getting paid to say this stuff. Right? It's like the conservatives say Joe Biden is a left-wing socialist with his crazy environmental agenda. That's nonsense. Joe Biden can say, oh, we're going to help the environment all we want. Here are the facts. Joe Biden has signed more drilling permits on public land than Trump did. So that's what Joe Biden did because Joe Biden gets donation money. You can look this up on opensecrets.org from the fossil fuel industry, as did Trump. So that you make a great point. You make a great point. So thanks for watching our show, folks. You can support what we're doing super chats, just like HD Spider-Man 56 did. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. And that's how we make Gotham great again. And we also make it great again with Bitcoin. Bitcoin takes the power out of the central banks and emboldens the average person. It is the single greatest opportunity for regular people to accumulate wealth in the history of the human race. You can go buy $10 worth of Bitcoin. You can do that right now. And that's why I would... You can use it by going to swanbitcoin.com/Graham Elwood, and you get $10 in free Bitcoin, and you help support the show. Great way to support our show. And there's other ways scrolling below, but go to swanbitcoin.com/Graham Elwood, and they're a Bitcoin only. You can only buy Bitcoin, and they actually have tutorials on how to self-custody your Bitcoin. So they don't want to hold on to it and run a scam like FTX did. So shave your knuckles for justice. Boom.